All right, this is impromptu. I kind of just wanted to talk about the best knives for most people because I have a preference, and that's what I talk about all the time. But my opinions are fairly universal in those reviews. So, what I wanted to talk about is my opinion about the common consensus for the average American. Like, somebody who deals with an office, who goes out on the weekend, might find themselves in a warehouse and is done doing at home tasks too. Yeah, the average person, um, the person who's wanted to go out and do some things for a while, but has just not had the opportunity to. Well, in this phase of my life, I'm going to actually, well, I've been talking about this stuff, the things I've used, the products that work, and some insights into maybe even ways of doing things that are just worth considering at the very least. So let's begin. We live in a modern age, right? So I'm going to boil this down very, very simply. If you're a type of person who just doesn't use knives at all, you're the type of person that finds themselves opening a package and just reaching for their keys or something and doesn't really need a knife, but wouldn't mind having something kind of nice, especially for when you're going out. It's an accessory piece. I get into this. I did get into this a while, but the channel's picking up, so I guess I'll get serious again. Um, but it's like male fashion. And women are allowed to accessorize with various articles of clothing and like brooches and things of that nature. And it's just kind of been part of culture, part of just trends, and just the way things evolve. So yeah, men have evolved certain articles alongside their attire, and one of those is pocket knives, pocket watches, um, cufflinks, things like that. So if you wanted to have a little air of class, but at the same time be practical, a canoe, no bullshit. A canoe style. This is a buck canoe in Burl wood, um, nickel silver bolsters, stainless steel liners. I said Burl wood. Um, this is one of their Chinese models, like it's made overseas and brought back here. But the thing I appreciate about it is it doesn't say made in China anywhere on it. It just says buck. And the quality, the fit and finish is there. So there's nothing that stands out to you as this is a factory second or this is just their cheap line or anything like that. Like sometimes companies do a budget line, but they'll do it right. And it's not even about being budget. Maybe they just have a better infrastructure over there at that factory than Buck has for these traditionals. A lot of things happen in the economy. So this is a 389. I'm not familiar with that tank stamp. I don't remember what year that would be, but this is a canoe pattern. Just like the buck knife is the iconic Americana knife. I guess you can make an argument that the K bar too, but that's mostly straight tactical military use. The K bar, they've kind of got that dominion, but buck knives kind of have military, but as well as civilian stuff. This is Americana. This is American as hell. So that's a canoe shape. I'm sure you can perceive that. It's got two blades, a small and a large, hollow ground, nice little spear point. I love this shape. This one is just a smaller, more exacto knife type of deal. So, if you're a no frills kind of person, why is this even worth looking at? Well, because you're not going to want something tactical. Maybe you do, and that's why I got a few other ones that might pique your interest. But you're the kind of person who just needs a knife. You're gonna go cut some cardboard really quick and then go back, and then maybe you might cut a zip tie or just your lunch, like a package or something. And you're just gonna throw it away, put it aside. You have two blades here. One I always use this smaller blade. This is always my utility blade. This is gonna get all the gunk on it. This is what I use for cutting tape on cardboard, like opening up packages. I'll use this for everything of that nature because it's a box cutter. That's what I call it. So this one gets stropped a lot and then just beat up and used. This one is if I need to cut something else. I have a spare blade, a clean blade, a sharp blade. And in a pinch, I always thought I've never had to do this, but I always thought that man, if I needed to just like pick at something, pry something like a screw or something, you're always in a situation where you might have to. I would always just use the smaller blade and just and if it's an apple, just fuck it. I got another one, so I'm not fucked. It's kind of how I think, and it's pretty slick. The buck ones are very nice. Consider it the canoe, and then look up the history. It's pretty cool. So now, if you just need a knife, you're not going for the traditional look. I'm going to show you the same knife in two sizes. Here, I'm going to show you the same knife in two sizes because this is a knife that everybody should just consider. This is the Ontario Rat one. This one's in Os 8. It's a beautifully done flat grind. It's got a nice belly on it so that you can do a lot of shaving, like of wood. I would know. Um, the overall shape, they come with just a non-painted blade and different types of handles and all kinds of configurations nowadays. But before it was pretty basic. This is the workhorse. This is the knife you buy and it'll last you. You'll still have it and be using it 7, 8 years later. It's got a full flat grind. I'll remind you of that again because modern people just like slicey things. They like to be able to just cut down cardboard, play with paper, and even shave their hair on their arms. Like honestly, that's what you're gonna do because we all do. This is rugged enough to do that. I mean, it's sharp enough to do that, but it's also made by an outdoors company, a survival company, which prides themselves in just self reliance. So you can take this with you on that weekend camping trip and start batoning some timber and doing all kinds of fun things. This is large. I think this is like a 3.5 inch, 3, 4 inch blade. I love this one. It feels good in the hands and the handle shape. It gives you a lot of security, especially for someone not familiar with knives. I'm going to show you this in two sizes because this is the one I like too, I guess. You can see this is the Rat 2, also an Os 8. Very pretty. If you're living close to the city or you just don't really need a big knife, this is a 3 inch blade. I got a lot of warehouse work done with this thing. It's a liner lock. Look it up. Great thing to consider. Just all purpose if you just needed one knife for everything. Now, if you want to go camping, what kind of one fixed blade would you get? If you even like have to look for somebody else's opinion, I'm not talking shit at all, by the way. But if you then you really don't go out that much, so it's best to start off with something solid, something foundational, something that'll work for you in a wider range of applications, but will also like force you to consider what do I need going forward. Esee Izula. The Esee Izula is the best little fixed blade knife. Esee hooks you up with a badass sheath, badass pocket clip, great retention. It's meant to be held like with a carabiner on your backpack, so that it's meant to be carried like that. Pretty cool. I throw the hell out of this knife, and I have for years now. Um, they use 1095, and I think their heat treatment, the way that they decide to the birds to heat treat this thing. It's comparable to the Boss heat treat buck. I mean, like I can't really compare it like that, but what I'll say is the results very, very, very impressive. They care about their heat treat of 1095, and this is very, very good. The smaller model, like Essee's come in bigger, hunkier, and it's a great company. Check them out. But the Esee Izula is iconic. You'll see something called the Izula 2, and it's just got a little bit of a longer handle. But this is one that if you don't really have a fixed blade and you want a fixed blade because you might go camping and just gonna screw around and maybe cut some stuff, and you just want a nice fixed blade, just go with something like this. You can definitely take it camping. You can definitely take it batoning. You can definitely skin a deer. You can definitely nail a rabbit by the campfire if you're hungry. And it'll teach you a lot because from there, once you're playing with it, you'll see exactly like what you need. If you have very large hands, though, like just I wear a size large glove, perfectly fit large glove. So if you wear like an extra large, I have like a perfect four-finger grip. You might be right here. So look at the Izula too. That's why they made it. It's got a little bit of a longer handle, but so consider that. But it'll teach you a lot in the sense of you'll just figure out exactly what you need. If you need anything else, to be honest, I'm good with this. Like, like if I was, I'd like my hatchet, my tomahawk, like straight up. A tomahawk is priceless. Just even a small bladed axe, tiny. It doesn't have to be big, but something that I can like mount on a stick and just get that mass and momentum going, so I can fell or chop. It's a pain in the ass to always do it with a fucking baton. We've done, but it's nice to have some velocity. So I'd be fine with just this because it's a good knife. And back in the day, the primitives, they would always just have a shard, like basically just something small in their hip, and that's about it. So Esee Izula, Ontario Rat 2. It's the mini one. Rat 1, it's larger. Both are great. Just pick whichever one you like. To get both. The other thing is they're not that expensive, except for this one. It's a fixed blade, a very good fixed blade. These are all like $50 or under. But you have to like when you buy a good like set of work boots, like you can't just fucking spend seven. It sucks. You have to think of it that way, but you spend $70 on work boots. Like no, it's just different. Like prepared to like drop something. So this one's like $80, I think, last time I checked. But it's a work knife, like work boots type of shit. And that's still on the cheaper end. So yeah, all these are under like 50, including this one. I really look into this one. This one's really my favorite out of all the traditionals. Did you know I collect canoes? I have a few others. Something about the ocean, something about those rivers, something about all those maritime stories. And I'm not talking that Huckleberry Finn shit. Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens. Cool. But I'm reading this book, The Last Incan Account of the Conquest of Peru. It's fascinating. It's basically the last Incan emperor and his account of, like, at the end when everything happened. He tells his side of the story, and it's recorded by, I think, a priest. So he was probably captive. So it's interesting. Thanks for watching.